hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the federal government just said that they're going to be spying on you playing video games to.
All right, so go watch that video and get the details on what she's talking about. I'm going to provide some more context on this because I think some pieces were missed. Not her fault, just there's a lot to that topic. The short of it is that the FBI and Department of Homeland Security are going to be monitoring people playing games to look for extremist content, hate crime type stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a parent that has a child that plays games online, that's going to be a thing that exists there. And moderation within gaming companies has been horrible. They've chose not to do much about it. Now, what has been done? Microsoft not too long ago had said that they were going to start recording all audio on specific titles and that they were going to be monitoring that title for hate speech. And I know that some people had complained because they were getting bans because of things they said. It was granular to a point that even jokes, even semi-racist jokes that kids were making was getting kids banned, which probably should. And I know that a lot of people are like, well, what about free speech? And it's like, I know it's a fine line. I get it. Personally, I do not believe that hate speech should be free speech, but somebody needs to moderate the content and determine what's a joke and what's free speech. And that's what's difficult because I don't care how people want to claim to be pure. People make racist jokes within their own circles. And the question is that something that should be free speech or is it something that should be considered hate speech? That's a difficult topic. That's something we need to discuss as a group of people. All in all, is that what we're going to do, but doesn't change the fact that Microsoft records audio. Now, I'm going to assume that PlayStation does the same, or Sony does the same with the PlayStation platform. I do think that Call of Duty, in particular, those games, they were recording audio for stuff. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that was something in there. Now, what does this mean for gaming? Well, if they're already recording your audio, that means that the game companies or the console manufacturers are just going to dump the audio over to DHS and FBI. And I don't think a warrant would be necessary if these companies are cooperating. Now, it is important to understand that there is some extremist behavior that takes place within video games. It happens. Not saying it should, and I'd like to see that cracked down on. But for me, it's hard. I'm going to say I'm fine with them taking the audio. One, you already agreed to it. You already agreed to it when you paid for your live subscription, when you paid for your PSN subscription. You already agreed to it. It's in the terms and conditions. So you've already agreed that what you're doing is public. And for me, this fits in well with the no expectation of privacy. Now, I was hesitant on that because I'm trying to word it carefully because I know no matter how I say it or what I say, there's going to be some people that's upset. And that's fine. I expect those people in my comments. But if it's keeping children safe in this aspect and the agreement's already been signed, then great, it should go forward. But, huge but here. I think that if the FBI and DHS is going to be investigating and they're going to be going through, they need to be cracking down on the accounts of 13-year-old or people under 13 and not people are not in compliance with Sony's terms of service or Microsoft's terms of service. Same with all of these. We need to get kids out that don't belong there. And parents should be held responsible for buying their kids subscriptions and games that they are not old enough to play. I know that's not going to happen. So I guess it's just going to have to be those things where it's like, I guess if we're getting the bad guys right, but that's a whole nother thing that I could get into because I feel like we fail massively in stopping things from happening because we're only focusing on getting the bad guys and we don't stop children from doing things that we should. Solvable problems too. Anybody that says, oh, we can't do that, you don't understand that that's doable. You do not understand the level of which that things can be controlled. So I'm tired of hearing there's just only so much we can do. No, there's a lot more that can be done. But again, if this roots out extremists from online gaming, I'm all for that. I am tired of playing online games and there being just toxic people who are over and above toxic at that point. I mean, I can understand toxic. There's the kid that just annoys you in online games, and that's one thing. But then there's the person spouting racist content everywhere, which that needs to be gone. So, how do you feel about this? Did you know that you were being recorded? Were you already aware of this? Did you know that in your terms of service with any of the online platforms, and we're talking even Steam games at this point, did you know that you've agreed in some shape, form through a EULA or an agreement with a gaming company that your audio would be recorded? Are you aware that Discord did you know that Discord keeps audio recordings of what you say? Are you aware of these things? And how do you feel about that? Will this change how you interact with these services? Will it change how you play games? Or do you not care and just move on? I'm of the mindset, I don't do anything illegal. I don't do anything wrong. So I don't care. I really don't. For me, because I have an IT background, when I'm told that a game company is recording my activity, I don't care because I'm not doing anything that's wrong or it's going to get me in trouble, and it doesn't bother me. I watch it closely to see if there's anything changing that. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts?